for day one of 7 days of holiday beauty for us over 50 gals. Welcome in, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. The holiday season is upon us, and I thought it would be fun to do something a little bit special to celebrate. Over the next coming 7 days, I'm going to be doing a chatty get ready with me every single day, and I hope that you'll join me. The holidays can be kind of stressful, and I think this year is kind of sending it over the top. I thought it would be fun to spend some time together every day for some nice, calm, relaxing makeup, and I hope you'll join me all week long. I'll be doing a get ready with me every single day featuring different makeup, a different eyeshadow palette, and chatting along the way. For me, it's a great opportunity to spend some holiday time with you, and I hope that you feel the same way. We're kicking off day one with some fun new makeup, and I can't wait to share it with you. As always, all products that I mentioned today will be listed and linked below, and they'll also be over on the blog, so super easy for you to find. And with that, let's hop into the holiday makeup. I've done all my skincare and I have my sunscreen on, and it's been soaking in for probably about an hour and a half. I was doing some work earlier. I'm going to start in with the Milani Eyeshadow Primer. You guys have seen this a million times. Just a little bit on my finger, and that's going to get tapped in between both eyelids. I'm going to put a little bit of the City Lips on my lips just to give me some hydration while I put my makeup on. It seems like my lipstick just looks a whole lot better if my lips are nice and moisturized when I'm done with my makeup. For a primer, I'm going to use this wonderful primer from Catrice. I used to use this all the time. It's called Fresh It Up, and it's an Aqua Fresh Hydro Primer. And you know what this feels like to me? This feels like some of the watery moisturizers from K-Beauty brands. It's really, really hydrating, feels very light on the skin, and really keeps my skin feeling moisturized throughout the day. So I'm going to start off with just this amount on the back of my hand and just tap that all over my face. It's not so much a gripping primer, I would say, as a hydrating primer. While those primers are drying, I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. Today I'm going to be using the $1 Billion Brows, which is the triple threat, and this is in the color blonde. Now look at this pencil. Look at this pencil, which I think is $20 or so, compared to the e.l.f. retractable brow pencil, which I love. They're just about the same. And to be honest with you, I really can't tell a difference between the two formulas. So if you're looking for a brow pencil, I would say stick with the e.l.f. It's a lot more affordable, and I love the way it works. But we're going to be mixing it up and using this one today. And how I like to start with my brows is to really define the line at the very bottom. I do like the shape of these pencils. I like that it's thin on one side and thicker on the other. It just does so much more. I can line the bottom of my brow, and then I can take that thicker edge and just really fill my brow in really, really quickly. I'll have to say, because my hair is a little bit lighter now than it has been in the past, I'm really vacillating between what color to do my brows with, whether I should go for blonde or light brown. I don't know. I still haven't decided. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Now I'm going to do a little bit of color correcting with my Stila Correct and Perfect palette. I'm still madly in love with this palette. It's just so doggone handy. Regardless of what kind of discoloration I'm having on my face, I feel like I've got the solution in this palette to correct it. Time for eyeshadow now, and today I'm going to be using the Natasha Denona Glam palette. Can you believe it? I know, I actually bought this palette. Again, this is so unlike me, but you know, like so many people, I'm really fascinated with this very beautiful neutral colorway. So I just decided, what the heck, so many people have tried it and loved it, I'm going to go ahead and try it as well. I have used this palette, I think, in one other video. It wasn't a get ready with me, so you guys probably really didn't even know what I had on my eyes, but I'm excited to work with this today. You've probably seen so many people review this palette. One of the things that I was really attracted to is that it's a nice combination between mattes and shimmers, but in general, the shimmers aren't real glittery. They're more appropriate for what I feel is going to work for my very mature skin and my crinkly eyes. I'm going to start in with this transition shade right here in the corner. And that's going to go right in that area up above my natural crease. I cleaned all my brushes yesterday. I'm feeling so very grown up. And I like to bring that transition color right up underneath my brow, almost to the brow line. Now I'm going to go into this color right here. It's called Blend. These colors are very interesting in the palette in that they don't have names, they have placements. So for instance, there's center eyelid, outer eyelid, crease. That's how they're defining the colors in this palette, which I think is kind of a unique way to do it. This is going to go right into that crease area to just deepen it up a little bit. I want a fairly simple eye look today, but I do just want to define some depth into that outer corner. Now I'm going to take a blending brush and just blend those two colors together. Now I'm going to take my finger and go into the shimmer shade right up here at the top. And that's going to go over most of the eyelid, almost to that inner corner. This is just a real pretty, cool taupey color. Isn't that nice? I'm bringing that about 3/4 of the way across my lid. I'm just leaving that little inside corner open. Now I'm going to go back in with that blending brush and I'm just going to blend the edges into that crease color. Now I'm going to take a tiny little detail brush and I'm going to tap it into this color. It's called Inner Eyelid. It looks almost like a white silver. I'm going to go really, really lightly into that inner corner of my eye because I have a lot of crepiness there and the skin is very crinkly and I don't want to enhance that texture, but I do want some lightness in that area. So I'm just going to very, very lightly place that color there and a little bit into this area right here where I can tend to get some shadows in my eyelids. Now I'm going to take that same small brush and tap it in this color called Brow Bone right down here. That's going to go right under my eyebrow, just really lightly. I don't want a whole lot of shimmer up there, but I do want it to be a little bit lighter in that area. I think that's such a pretty eye look. I love the cool taupey shades. This palette does remind me a lot of the ColourPop That's Taupe palette. Of course, you have a lot more choices in here with the different shades and the different finishes, but it's really the same color concept, and I think it's just so very pretty. For foundation today, I'm going to be using a foundation I've been hearing about forever, and it's at such a great drugstore price. Have you guys heard about this? This is the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. It says 24 hours. Trust me, I'm not going to be wearing it for 24 hours. But I have heard from so many people that this is such a wonderful foundation. I haven't tried it, but I did order it online a couple of weeks ago, but I've been saving it to try it with you guys. I've tested the color against my inner arm and it looks to be pretty good. So I'm just going to start, it comes with a little dropper right here. I'm just going to start with a little bit on the back of my hand and start tapping that all over my face. It does look to have a little bit of a yellow undertone. I think it should be fine once I blend it in. It's very, very light. And it's blending in just like a serum, just really, really light. And it looks like skin. It looks really skin-like. I'm always so amazed at some drugstore foundations that are just so very good. I'm going to tap just a little bit more into a few spots. This may be the lightest foundation I've ever worked with, and I'm really kind of amazed at the coverage. I'm just going to tap that in with my sponge now. Okay, I have a story to tell you guys. You guys know that I've recently moved to a new town. Well, I've been here, oh gosh, maybe 4 or 5 months now, and it's been really, really hard to meet people because of, because. And I love to hike and I love to be outdoors and I don't mind doing it alone at all. I'm really fine with that. But there comes a point where you actually want another person to talk to. So finally I thought, you know what? I'm going to get on Meetup and I'm going to start my own hiking group, like a hiking group over 40, which is what I did. And I thought, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know if I'm going to get anybody to sign up, but I just knew I needed to do something in order to start meeting some people. So I threw the group up and, I put an explanation of what we're going to do, kind of a description of the group and the mission and that sort of thing. I woke up the next morning, I had over 100 members already in the group. And it just cracked me up because it made me realize that there's a lot of people feeling how I'm feeling, like they just want to get out and do something with other people. So that was really, really fun. I ended up scheduling my first outing for the group, which is going to be in a couple of days. Gosh, and so many people signed up, I had to finally cap it off at, I think, 18, which is really a big group for hiking, but I know full well that a lot of people won't show up. So I'll probably end up with 9 or 10 people for the hike that day, and I'm really excited about it. So that's the kind of the fun update in my social life here. Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this foundation is amazing. I can't even believe how good that looks. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it as well on the camera as I can in person, but it is so skin-like, so light, and even still, I think it has good coverage. It's done a good job of covering up my age spots on the sides of my face. It is beautiful. Again, this is the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage. I think this is maybe $8 or $9. This is such a beautiful drugstore foundation. I'm already really a fan. For bronzer today, I'm going to be using the Milani. This is their Silky Matte bronzer line, and this is in Sun-Kissed. I've used this a number of times, and I really do like it. Although with this color, I have to be a little light-handed because it can end up being a little dark for me. You know what I'm curious about? I'm curious about what are your favorite makeup products lately. If you've picked up a product that you really love, go ahead and list it down below. I'm really curious to find out what you guys are using and loving. For blush, I'm going to be using another product from Milani. This is their Baked Blush line, and this is Petal Primavera. I love every single blush I've tried in this line. They're all really beautiful. This is sort of just a dusty rose pink. I'm going to put it on the back of my hand. This is just a really pretty dusty rose pink with a little bit of a neutral to it. I've tried several of these baked blushes from Milani. I love every single one of them. And I'll try one and I'll think, ooh, that's my favorite. And then I'll try another and I'll think, ooh, that's my favorite too. They're all just really, really good. Just blend that in. For highlighter today, I'm using the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This is in the color Be My Highlight. This is another drugstore product that is so, so good, even though it's very, very affordable. And I'll just go ahead and put that right over that blush area. And then I always like to put a little right on the front of my cheeks. And of course, I can't avoid my nose with it either. Back in with a big fluffy brush to blend that out. Isn't that highlight just a pretty look on the skin? I can't stop looking at this foundation. It just looks so good and so natural. I think that's what I'm blown away at, is that it just doesn't even really look like I have makeup on my skin. Oh shoot, I forgot concealer. I've been doing that so much lately. I do have a new concealer today. This is from Revolution. This is their Conceal and Define. Haven't used it at all, haven't even really opened it up. It's kind of a smaller tube than most concealers that come in this format, and it has a short little buck foot applicator, a big doe foot applicator. I'm just going to dab a little bit underneath my eyes. I haven't used this, so I'm not really sure how much to get started with, and I'd rather put on less than more. I'm going to do something I've never done. I'm going to use a brush to apply that concealer to begin with. I usually always use my fingers. And I see the younger YouTubers use a brush. I have concealer brush envy. So I just want to do it today to see what happens. This formula is reminding me a whole lot of the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, which actually is not one of my favorite concealers. For some reason, it just doesn't work out for me. A lot of people love it. But this formula is very similar to that. It is going on a little patchy in the corner of my eyes. But boy, gosh, I loved putting it on with this brush. This is a Real Techniques brush, and I think it came in a little set. But I liked putting on my concealer with this brush, surprisingly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray a little bit of setting spray on my sponge, and I'm going to go underneath and tap that into the concealer and see if I can't get it to smooth out a little bit. Okay, that helped a little bit. I'm not sure about that color. It does brighten a little bit, but it might be a little bit too light. What do you guys think? Now I'm going to set my concealer with the No. 7 Lift Illuminate powder. Love this powder for this. A little bit on the brush and just lightly tap it underneath my eyes. And you can see it really helps to mattify that under eye area. Now I'm going to go back in with that sponge that has the setting spray on it and very gently tap that in. Now I'm going to take a big fluffy brush and use my Milani Prep Set and Glow. I think this is one of my #1 products for the whole year. I love this finishing powder. Get a little bit on my brush. You guys can see this one's almost empty, but no fear. I have a backup or two in my makeup collection. And then I just gently dust that over my face. That just gives such a nice, subtle, beautiful glow to the skin. I have a new eyeliner pencil today. I just got this in last night. This is from L'Oreal and it's their Lay Liner. I haven't used it before, so we'll see how it goes. This is an automatic pencil, so you just twist it up, which of course is very, very convenient. I'm going to use this to line my eyes and to tight line with. So I'm just going to go right along my lash line. And I'm not going to worry about that line being perfect because I'm going to smudge it out with a brush when I'm done. Getting a perfect line on my eyelids just isn't going to happen because of the texture on my lids. Now that I have my upper lids lined with that eyeliner, I'm going to go back in with just a tiny angle brush and I'm just going to smudge that liner out to diffuse it and make it look a little bit more natural. Now I'm going to take this same pencil and tight line and run it right underneath my lashes and really fill in that area right in between each lash. I've got my eyelashes all curled and today I'm going to be using a new to me mascara. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. I haven't used this, but gosh, this is a fan favorite for a long time now. This is a very, very large tube. Have you guys tried this? It's bigger than your average mascara tube and it's heavier as well. It also has a really big wand on it. It kind of has one of those little figure 8 shapes, so it's the standard bristle wand. And we'll see how it does. Okay, this is 2 coats with the Better Than Sex mascara. You know, I like it. I can't say I feel like it's significantly better than a lot of other mascaras I've been using lately. Although I can say that I've been using a lot of really good mascaras, not necessarily expensive mascaras, but mascaras that I've really, really liked. And I'll be showing almost all of them, I'm pretty sure, in this 7 days of holiday beauty. I'm going to be going very natural with the lip today. This is the NYX pencil in Natural. And this is a new color for me from Revlon. This is called Untold Stories. Isn't that just so very pretty? Look at that right there. It's just a beautiful neutral. This is one of their matte lipsticks. I'm really anxious to see how it looks. I've taken off most of that lip gloss. Oh gosh, that's such a pretty color. Oh, you know, even though it's a matte, it doesn't look dry. It almost seems like a matte satin. Isn't that a pretty lipstick combination? Here we have the finished look. Gosh, this has been such a fun makeup day. I'll tell you, there were so many things that I'm really loving right out of the gate. First of all, this Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. Wow, oh wow. I have been hearing about this for so long and everyone that I've heard talk about it loves it. I'm in that club as well. I can't believe how skin-like my skin looks. This is an incredible foundation. It's very light, but I think it has good coverage. I love the finish on my skin. It's not too matte, it's not too dewy. It just looks skin-like to me. I am really a fan of this and I feel so very lucky that I got a good color right out of the gate. You know, because I had to buy it online, it was really kind of a guessing game. Really, really loving this HD liquid coverage from Catrice. Yes, everything you've heard about this Natasha Denona Glam palette is true. It really is a lovely palette. I didn't think I was going to buy this, but I kept seeing it and kept seeing it, and the colorway is just perfect for me. And I can say that I think that the eye look today is really, really pretty, and really pretty on my more mature eyes, which I appreciate. This palette is just a beautiful selection of cool neutrals, and I'm excited to continue to put looks together with it. I think that if you're a palette lover, this might be worth the price. It is a little bit more expensive, a lot more expensive than the palettes that I usually purchase, but for me right now, I'm very, very glad I have this in my collection. The Revolution Concealer, this is their Conceal and Define. You know what I have to say about concealers is that I have yet to try a concealer, whether it is drugstore or high-end, that I'm over the moon about. My concealer can look good, it just never looks wonderful because of the texture underneath my eyes. I don't think, based on my experience from today's makeup look, that this is going to be one of my favorite concealers, although I am going to use it a couple of times more. It might be a little lower on my list because I do think it's a little bit too light for me. I'm just not sure, even if the color was different, if the formula would be one that I am crazy about. I have yet to find a concealer that I feel makes my under eyes look perfect, and I'm really beginning to wonder if I ever will. It just becomes a completely different thing when you have a lot of wrinkles and a lot of texture under your eyes. I do like to use concealer because I feel like the trade-off between having my dark circles look not so dark is worth it, at least at this point. If you have a concealer that you love, go ahead and put it in the comments down below. I'll continue to test and try until I find one that I either love or I just decide that this is probably as good as it's gonna get. I'm really loving this Lay Liner from L'Oreal. It did a great job of lining my upper eyes, and it has stayed put in the tight lining as well. I do appreciate the fact that it is an automatic pencil. It makes it just that much easier to use. I like the color. I'm not sure if it's actually black or charcoal. I'll have it listed down below. It didn't seem real black to me. It seemed like more of a charcoal gray, but I do think it's really, really pretty. So far, I'm loving this liner. I think one of the big hits of the day for me is this Untold Stories from Revlon. I think this lip color is just so very pretty. It's almost for me like the perfect neutral nude. The formula feels creamy. It doesn't feel drying like a matte can. I'm just really enjoying wearing it, and I think the color is just spot on. I want to thank you for joining me for day 1 of 7 days of holiday beauty. I hope you enjoyed it and found it fun. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you're interested in more makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman, stop by prettyover50.com. There's a lot more great information just waiting for you there. You guys know it just tickles me when you take a few minutes out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. It's so nice to be able to spend some holiday time together. Again, I'm Kimberly. This is Pretty Over 50, where we talk everything makeup, skincare, and style for the over 50 woman. Make it a great day. Wear your sunscreen, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.